Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and we are live on Neevesknives, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing? Hopefully all is well. Got the XL bag lighter in hand. Things, it's long, but it's not like too big at all. It's actually a really good size for such a long knife. It's very wieldable. I like it quite a bit. One thing I do like about it, the lock stick's getting a little bit worse, but I'm actually kind of happy about that because, and I hope other people start understanding that and not worrying about the lock stick so much on a button lock. It eventually goes away. No matter what, eventually it will go away. If your lock stick gets a little worse on your button lock, that's a good thing. And the reason why is because that means your lock is engaging. It's locking up stronger than it was when you first started opening it. And what more could you ask for, right? You want your lock to engage stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, like I always say, when it stops and that lock stick goes away, not saying it's for sure going to happen. Actually, it for sure will happen. It's just a matter of time. You're eventually going to start getting blade rock. Now, I might have a problem solver for that. Check this out. So I got, and this was just a practice round. I'm going to get more. I'll probably buy a set of each one until I figure out the right ones. My camera looks a little high, doesn't it? Let me lift my chair up a little bit. I feel like I'm a little low. So I got, Cue Ball. He's a member. Oh, yeah. So before we get into this, I did start a membership program, and we are going to get into that here in 1 second because I do have a lot to talk about. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, man. Stasa's in the house. What's up, Stasa? I know you guys are already subbed to Stasa, but go over there and make sure you are still subscribed. Sometimes YouTube tries to get rid of bots. Sometimes you wind up getting unsubscribed. It's happened to me a dozen times. It's even happened to me with Stasa's channel. So make sure you are still subscribed to his channel. Now, really quick, the button lock thing, and then we'll go into the membership. So I bought some springs. Let me pull it. Some springs and an actual button lock system. And I'm going to tell you guys where I got it. So that I could replace springs. Now, don't get me wrong, when your spring starts, getting weaker, you can always just stretch it. You can always do that. But it's not a bad idea to have a whole new button lock system, especially if we're talking about high-end button locks, Malibus, Protect Mordaxes, stuff like that, and many other, button lock systems. But the problem is knowing which one fits yours, right? So I'm going to buy every single one from Tie Connectors. That's where I got this from Tie Connectors. You can go on their site. They sell all kinds of parts for all your knives. And one of the things is the springs and the button lock system for your button lock. Now, like I said, figuring out what size is the correct one for your button lock, that's a different story, but we're going to figure it out, and I'm going to buy them all so that I can tell you guys, hey, this is the one for this knife. If you ever want to replace it, blah, blah, blah. So I wound up buying, I think, 5 springs and 1 button lock, the actual button where the spring goes into, and a couple other things. But I think that it's important to be able to replace those things when they go bad, when they wear out, and it might get rusty one day or something like that, where you don't even want to stretch it out. And that's kind of the point, because yes, you can always stretch it and, make it better, but one day, it might go bad. Or like I was saying, the button itself, the part that engages behind the blade, might start wearing out, or it doesn't matter how strong the spring is, it's getting rock. So you can replace that, and hopefully your engagement, your lockup engagement, is more solid, because like I said, you want a little bit of stick. Doesn't have to be really bad, but it's nice having a little bit. That way you can know that your lock is engaged nice and solid. It's kind of like a back lock. any back lock or access lock. An access lock that has a little bit of stick, you never have rock. Any lock, really. Frame lock, liner lock. If it has a little bit of stick, you know it doesn't have blade rock. But it's a little more, I don't know. It pisses you off a little bit more when it's on a frame lock or a liner lock. With a button lock, it's not so bad. Now, I understand sometimes it gets really bad. Like the one I had with this Tucson, this one was getting bad. Like when I'd push it, it sounded horrible. Now, there's hardly nothing. Actually, there's none. So, am I happy the button lock broken and now it's not sticking? Not really, kind of. Okay, kind of. I'm glad it's not as bad as it was, but I don't want it to get to the point to where it's just there's nothing there, because then I'll have blade rock. Right now, super solid, no rock at all, but I have a tiny, tiny, tiny hint of stick. And since it's such a small amount, that's good. That means my lock is engaging how it should, and it's creating a little bit of friction behind the tang of the blade. So that's a good thing. Tie connector is where those parts are at. Now there's other parts on there, and shout out to Richie B and Lindy Lou. This is actually where I found them at, was through Knife Modders, but there's a lot of other parts on there as well. Knives Fast. Shout out to Knives Fast. If you guys want to get in on that Kickstarter, I believe it's still going for, how much longer is it going for? It's going for a little bit longer. So if you guys want to get in on that, get in on it before it is too late. Everybody always complains, and this is a subject we're going to talk about here soon. And I'm not bitching at anybody, but I can't tell you how many times I show a knife on the channel and I will get reamed because it's sold out. I can't get one, whatever. And up until the point to when I show it or talk about it, it's been shown a dozen times. It's been talked about over and over and over and over. And then I have to tell the people, hey, man, everybody who got one, the reason why it's sold out is because all the people that were paying attention got one. And you weren't paying attention. And I know there's going to be some people that show up late and don't regularly watch the channel, but that's kind of the point. You kind of have to keep up a little bit to where you know what's going on, what's dropping, because that's what I try to bring you guys sometimes, is what's happening, what's dropping. Like tomorrow, I got a video going up on some parts for a knife, and I guarantee a lot of you are probably going to want to know about it. Probably. So don't miss that video, because everybody's going to be upset when they see everybody having this stuff and they can't get it, right? Because it'll be sold out. Now, the parts will continue to be made, but it's a bit behind, but we can make it. Yes, definitely. So definitely go over there and show some support. Steel Forged in Fire. What's up, bud? Let's talk about really quick, because I don't want to get into boring stuff. We have a lot of awesome topics to talk about, but I started a membership program. The membership program doesn't change anything for the viewers. Nothing changes. But if you want to support, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can support by becoming a member. Now, what does the membership give you? There's going to be a few tiers. Obviously, the higher the tier, the more things you get. The top tiers get everything the bottom tiers get. And we named them after knives. We almost named the first tier the Gerbers. And I was going to do a poll asking, like, would you guys be mad? Would you guys not like that? And my thought process was behind it was that if I named the lowest tier the Gerbers, nobody would want that, and they would jump right to the second tier. They wouldn't pay $3.99 a month because they don't want to be a fucking Gerber. They jump right to $10. But no, I'm joking. So we switched it to, or I'm not joking actually, but we switched it to the Kershaws because we figured you guys would like that a little bit better. So it's the Kershaws, the Spartans is the second tier, and then the third tier, which is the highest tier, is the Rocksteads. Gary, thank you for the donation. 5 bones. As my mama's bae, or my mama's boy, I appreciate is that you're always nice to your mom. Oh man, I love my mom to death. Absolutely. You got to. You got to. You can tell a lot about a man by the way he treats his mother. Now those tiers. The one thing I am going to offer, and that we're gonna do a lot of things on there. Don't get me wrong, but one thing I 100% am going to offer is lives for the members on sharpening. So what I'll be able to do is be able to work with people. You could call it one-on-one, but the group with me so that whatever issue you're having or whatever, you can come in and you can show me, or we can just talk about it and I can show you. We can figure it out. I can work with people on sharpening, teach them stuff. And the people that already do understand sharpening, they can also help, so it kind of be like a little bit of a crew or community of sharpeners through the membership program. And I think that'll be awesome. I'll do it twice a month. So once every 2 weeks, I'll do a live and only the members will be able to join. Now, that will also lead to, possibly sharpening giveaways, things like that. We'll see how that goes. But I think it's going to be pretty awesome doing basically like a sharpening group of people that actually want to do sharpening, want to learn sharpening, different techniques, different tips and tricks, and learning how to use different things. Like I actually just bought a whole flattener system that I'm probably going to do a quick video on for everybody, but those are things that would be like exclusive for the members once we get, a good membership going. But we already have, I think, 4 or 5 members, which is amazing. So thank you to the members that are the people that have joined the membership, and just know that the membership has started, so you can become a member whenever you are ready. Knive Electric, thank you for the 5 bones. This is evil, Jared. I want to be cheap, but I don't want to be called a Kershaw. See how I did that though? Smart, right? You got to give me credit. That was smart. Thank you for the donation. Thank you so much. And I know you don't. Of course you don't. You want to be a Spartan. You want to be a Spartan. Of course you want to be a Spartan. Thank you, Cue Ball. I do appreciate you becoming a member. I appreciate everybody who does join the membership. I can't wait to see the stickers and the people in the chat that are members. We tried to get 4 stickers, but one of them would not go up. So we only have 3 right now. Kara's working on a few more. Soon we will have a bunch more. I promise you, we're gonna have a bunch. Kara will always be upgrading them and things like that. And the longer you become a member, the longer you become a member, your sticker will change colors and stuff. I'm ready to be a member, but can't use phone. Have to use computer to do it. Really? I see. I don't know. Honestly, guys, I was supposed to already have done a video and uploaded a video, and I made a video, but it didn't start. The join thing didn't start. So it was like, okay, I had to not upload the video because in the video I was like saying, I started a join membership, and but it wouldn't fire off, like it wouldn't go. I kept trying to go back to it, and then I only realized it finally kicked in and started when a couple members commented and I seen their thing. Cubo with the 5 bones. Screw Kershaw. I'm a Rockstead all the way. That's what's up. Thank you, Chris. Man, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Holy cow. We got a Rockstead in the building. Can you teach me KME sharpening? Well, not with an actual KME, but yes. Having a fixed blade or fixed angled system is universal to most of the way. Like the sharpening system I have, you can easily do or replicate a lot of the things. Now, the way you're going to get your angle is going to be slightly different, but I get an angle, you get an angle, you figure out the angle or the degree, yes, it's still universal. So if you have a KME system, you're still going to want to join. These are things that I'm going to try to do with freehand, fixed angled, honing, just everything across the board. And not just that stuff either, also fixing knives, working on knives, just all kinds of little things that are knife related I can do with this crew of people. And we can start like, a little team of people, helping people, right? People helping people, because I know people are going to be joining that are going to know things that maybe I don't know, or possibly that just know things and they can help as well. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, William. Thank you so much. What's up, Knife Addict? What's the actual difference between Patreon member? Okay, so patrons, I actually have a video. So if you're a patron member, which you are, but to everybody who's a patron member, I have a video that's about to go up for the giveaway. So the patrons get monthly giveaways. That's what they get. They get some behind the scenes videos, and actually that's what I have that's going up. It's a behind the scenes video, and it shows the giveaway knives. I actually got a list of knives, and you guys get to choose which one you want. But the point is that that's what happens there. You guys get first dibs on knives I sell, which I actually have a huge knife sale coming up. So you guys get first dibs on the knives I sell, and you guys get the monthly giveaways behind the scenes. And I do need to get more videos up of like behind the scenes stuff. And then the membership is for knife sharpening and like working on knives, things like that, and then some other little things too that I'm gonna work out and figure out a schedule for, but it's gonna be more, I guess, content related to an extent. Both of them support the channel, so that's the point. If you want to support both of them, do that. Now let's get into some subjects, because Yoda Doug's Tool Collecting channel is a damn member, and that's the first person I actually seen. I couldn't find any links to your patron. Okay, so they're usually in almost every video. All right, the last few videos I posted, I did not put the link in, but most of my videos, if you scroll all the way to the very bottom, there's a patron link at the very, very bottom. You can find my Instagram, email, and Patreon. Okay, so Teddy says, I don't have anything from Spiderho yet. I would like to leapfrog the PM2. Would you suggest a Spidey Shaft, Shaman, Drunken, Slish Buoy, or Gale Bradley? Okay, so take the Gale Bradley off that list. Okay, I absolutely love the Gale Bradley. Don't get me wrong, but there's some issues with it. The D10 sucks, and there's no lock bar access. I would go with the Gale Bradley, or sorry, I just said don't do that. The Slish Buoy, but that's hard to find. If you can get a Slish Buoy, I'd say go for that. If not, I would go for the Spidey Chef or the Drunken. Drunken's very expensive. Spidey Chef is a lot more available. You can get those pretty readily. The Shaman is awesome all the way across the board. That's going to be more of a tougher use knife, but you can also EDC it just fine. It's a great knife. I love it. But I personally, for EDC, if you're specifically wanting it for everyday carry, I would go with the Spidey Chef, Drunken, or Slish Buoy first. Shaman if you're wanting a work knife. But any one of the other ones will be a great work knife too. The best work knife out of all of them is the Gale Bradley, in my opinion, but it also has the most issues out of all the knives. You have to modify it, which I did a video on, so you can unlock it. Otherwise, man, it is horrifying to unlock that knife without modifying it. And then there's no detent, like literally no detent. I can grab mine right now, and like there's nothing, no detent. It's like it's non-existent. It sucks, but the knife itself is amazing. I don't know. Gale Bradley just doesn't give a shit about anything except for the use, right? That's it. Like, he don't care about you having to unlock the knife, deploying the knife. Forget about all that, right? But once it's open, the thing is a damn champ. The little sub hilt is sweet. Right there is the patron. Thank you, Chris. I do appreciate it. Is there a reason to move a blade on a stone forward rather than backwards in sharpening? Just curious. Yes. You want to go forward. I'm curious what you mean. If you mean, so the way I'm imagining is you're talking about forward like this. Like if I have a stone, like if this is a stone and I'm sharpening like this, that's the way I'm picturing it. You want to go forward. You can go forwards and backwards, but this is stuff all for the damn members. You guys are trying to get some membership content out of me. But no, yes, you should go forward for sure. Trail leading strokes like going backwards, you can do too, but it also works really good for burr removal. That is probably, in my opinion, the best way to remove a burr, and it actually can lead to the best results, because one of the most important things when sharpening is your burr removal. Your whole goal when you sharpen is to reveal a perfect apex, a point of zero, right? That's the whole point. So the burr removal is like one of the most important parts. Okay, so let's talk just a little bit. So, Leatherman's beef. Let's talk a little bit about that. I actually didn't even know this existed, but I did hear about it from a couple people. So, I guess Leatherman made an EDC organizer similar to this, right? Now, Tale of Knives makes those USA made, and I guess the one that they made is very similar or identical to the Tale of Knives one. Now, I'm like on both sides of the fence with this. So one, Tale of Knives was not, they might be the first people that made that exact design. And I don't want to take that from them if they did that. I'm not 100% if they did or not, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, they 100% made that design first. The EDC organizer existed before them. I watched old timers walking around with belt sheaths with multi tools and knives way before 2018, because that's when Tale of Knives came to the market, was in 2018. So before that, people were walking around with EDC organizers, just maybe not this exact 100% pattern where you have one space here, the pen goes in the front, the multi-tool here, blah blah blah, then a little dangler. So I'm guessing that the reason why they're upset is because they made that exact design, and that's the exact design that Leatherman recreated. So in a lot of ways, they feel like they kind of stole their design. And I can understand that, because on one side of the fence, we have China that does it, right? China's been doing it for years. Well, since 2018, since Tail and Knives hit the market, they've been recreating them. Now, I'm curious to know if that was being made before Tale of Knives and Tale of Knives just started doing it better, or if they actually invented that design. But like I said, let's just say they did. And if in that case, if they did, then I do understand, like, why wouldn't they just, for Leatherman, why wouldn't they just make a different one? Why wouldn't they just make one that is similar, right? But not the exact same, not identical, right? Make it a little different. However, they're not going to be able to do it like Tale of Knives. They're doing it for like $20, right? Same thing that you can get them for from Amazon, from all the other knockoff ones, right? Same thing like what I got over there. The Tale of Knives one is a lot more expensive, like $140, anywhere from like $100 to $150. But it's way better quality, hand done. You can kind of set it up the way you want. You can custom order it. You can pick the color stitching you want. You can pick the color leather. There's a lot more to it than what Leatherman's going to be able to provide. But I in a lot of ways, I think it's kind of a dumb argument. I don't think it's even worth anybody's breath, because basically Leatherman, which is a USA company, and that's what I think everybody's upset about, is because they're a USA company. We have a USA company shitting on another USA company, using China to do it, though. You know what I mean? So I get why people would be upset at that. Seems like something I seen walking around a gun show back in the day. Yeah, for sure. That's what I mean. Like I'm not positive. That's why I don't want to say that I've seen them before 2018, but I know for sure I seen EDC belt organizers before 2018. It's just I don't know if I seen that exact configuration. And maybe they were the ones that did that exact configuration. China does it, then all y'all post Civivi and we videos. Anyways, what? China does it, then all y'all post Civivi and Lee videos. What that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're talking about a belt organizer that a USA company, Civivi and Weed, they don't steal designs. They hire USA designers to design the knives and then pay them for it. That doesn't even make sense what you just said. Oh man, I'm gonna mess this name up. Kalaya, thank you for becoming a member. I'm just gonna call you Chaos. Thank you for becoming a member. I do appreciate everybody who becomes a member, man. This is gonna be so amazing having a bunch of people that are members. I've been wanting to see these damn stickers and see members in my lives for a long time. So this is really special to me. Thank you guys. But you specified we and Civivi, Mike M, which they don't do. But you specified we and Civivi. I don't know what you mean. No company can claim a patent on a simple belt organizer. Well, I think if you were going to argue, I think that's what you'd have to do. I think if you were going to get mad, you would have to say, I patented it, which they obviously didn't. They obviously did not patent it. Otherwise, they would be able to go after them, especially being a USA company. So obviously, they didn't patent it. Maybe they tried and it didn't work because there's a lot of companies. What I feel their pain when I go on Amazon and you look up the EDC belt organizers and everybody is stealing their pictures and using the pictures of their belt organizers as their own, but then selling you their organizer. So they're making their belt organizer, but the picture they show you to sell you the organizer is Tale of Knives. And that makes me feel some sort of way for Tale of Knives. Like, damn, man, that's fucked up. That's like somebody like taking the pictures of the real Sabenza, showing you the Sabenza, and then sending you a a whatever. I'm gonna have to figure out how to become a member. Didn't know you could do that. I'm not very good with the computer, so it's gonna be right next to the subscribe. So when you look next to the subscribe now, there's a join button. You just hit the join, and then you can figure out which member you want to become. Now, if you can't see it on your phone, maybe you might have to do it on the computer. I'm not sure, but it should be right next to the subscribe. K Mason, we got a new member. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for all the support. Dominic says, I never liked having to be a member. You don't have to be a member. So you don't have to like or dislike it because you don't have to be a member. You can choose to be a member if you want to support. But all the content's for free. Minimal CDC says the belt organizer probably falls under clothing category. You can't patent a clothing design. Right. Probably. Now, is there a place there for them to be upset? That's, I guess, is the question, and like I said, I think Leatherman could have, let's say there's nothing wrong with it at all, right? Let's say there's not a damn thing wrong with it. Is there a moral code, right, between two USA companies where another USA company goes to the company and says, hey, listen, I just want you to know I'm going to do this. Is that okay? If not, I will make up my own design. Or the best thing to do, which is what I personally probably would have done, is just make your own damn design. It can be a little different. Think about just think about all the things you could do. They could have made something super unique, right? Where your Leatherman or your multi-tool goes in the front, and then your pen and your knife, your pen and your flashlight go on the left and right side, right? That'd be completely different. Or maybe possibly your pen, goes in a different direction or goes in at an angle. There's so many different ways you can think about it. Or maybe the whole thing is at an angle a little bit, right? Where it's not straight up and down, it's just shifted a little bit. That'd be cool. I could think of a million different ways to do a belt organizer that would be different than the one Tale of Knives has, but taking the exact one from Tale of Knives, regardless if they're allowed to do it. Is there a moral, like, you know? Gregory, thank you for becoming a member. Damn it, we got all kinds of members now. Hell yeah, I'm loving it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. How about that Super Bowl? I didn't watch it. I could care less, to be honest, man. When they started going woke, I don't give a shit, man. You lost me when they started going woke and doing that shit. That's why I love the UFC, because they stay out of that stuff. But yeah, when I seen football starting to do that stuff, meh, go ahead, go do it. I'm not gonna watch. Anyone even give two shits about tomorrow's ball game? Not me. What is up, Shot-Town bad boy? What's up, John? How you doing, brother? Let me catch up, and then now we are. I don't know what the hell happened, man. I clicked something. Now, man, I had Instagram ready to go up. Well, anyways, let's go to the next subject. I don't know what the hell I did. Talica, thank you, man. Talica's a member. Hell yeah. What are the other mods? I don't know what you mean. I love when people ask me who I'm going for in the big game, Jim, and I say I don't even know who's playing. That's me. That's me for sure. It's totally me, because I don't care. The only time I care is if I got money on it. If I got money on it, like if I know, or there's like, a bunch of guys getting together and we're going to be watching it and I got money on it, then I care. Other than that, I don't give a shit. Dude, I want to come chat with you about cams and tech. So do I. So do I. You just seen me do a big fucking failure right here. Where are you at? We should definitely set something up. I'd love to do that. Oh, Breeze is here somewhere. Here he was. Breeze, there he is. We got two moderators here, and then I don't know if Fiend's in here or not. Where is the member tab? Is it only on PC? I don't know. Hey guys, everybody who became a member, can you only do it on computer or can you do it over your phone? It should be next to the subscribe button, but I can't become a member, so I honestly don't know exactly. I thought you could do it on your phone, but maybe you can only do it on a computer. Guys, please let the chat know where they can do that at. You want me to throw these new members out? Get them out of here. All right, so I was going to fix a knife with some serious blade rock issues right here live, but I actually might save it for the new members since we got some new members. I don't know. We'll see. I might do it. Okay, so micarta. Let's talk a little bit about micarta really quick, because I want to talk about how you can improve your micarta. Because it's really easy. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be able. Thank you, Tony. Tony's a new member. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you all so much. I don't know how many members we have already, but I can tell we got a few, and that's awesome. So linen micarta or none. So micarta, one issue with some people is the finish, right? You get a ding ding ding. I don't see is there a donation? Is that some people like the stuff that's the patinas, the stuff that's fluffy, the stuff that's furry, the stuff that you can really feel the texture on it, right? Some people really like that. They like to have that nice textured feeling, but sometimes you get your micarta and it's more dense. It's not really like this. It's more where it takes a long time to really soak in the oils and patina. So what you can do in order to kind of help that a little bit you can take 300 grit sandpaper and sand it down. If you sand it down, what you're going to do, because some micartas come polished, like if you guys remember Civivi's old micarta, and even some of the stuff now, it's almost like it's almost like G10. Well, the finishing belt, or whatever they're finishing it with, is really fine. So it's not really leaving a gritty finish to it. But what you can do is you can take a 300 grit sandpaper, even 150, right? Anywhere between like 100 and 350 grit sandpaper, and you can refinish the surface of it. And if you have any sharp spots, you can knock those down. You can contour the edges really good, especially if you find like that there's sharp corners or maybe it's uncomfortable in certain spots. You can contour it, and it's super, super easy. You can do it right over a garbage can. Make sure you're not breathing the stuff in. That is one thing. Make sure you're not breathing the stuff in. Wear a mask or something like that. But you can do it all by hand. You don't need any machinery or anything like that. Just some sandpaper and some good old elbow grease. And take it apart, get it, make sure if you are going to contour or do anything like that, make sure you trace spots out and notch things out. But if you're just doing the finish, you can just basically go right over it. Now, what you don't want to do is go down too deep, because some micarta, not all, but some, it seems like there's because of the layers, what you can do is you'll wind up going to the next layer, and it's like you restarted back from the beginning. Now, just scuff it up really good, scuff up the surface, and you can actually bring some of that porous micarta out. Now, there's going to be some micarta there's no saving. If you have some really shit junk micarta, it's probably as good as it's going to be. But if you have some decent micarta, you can make it look better. Or let's go the other way. Let's say it's porous. It has that real nice furry feeling to it, but you don't like that. You don't want that. You want it to be dense. You want it to not absorb the oils on your hands. What you can do is you can polish it. Basically take it to a really high grit. You can start with like a medium, 400 grit, move your way all the way up 400 to 600 grit, 800 grit to 1,000 grit, or even just jump from 600 grit to 1,000 grit, 1,200 grit. And it'll make it a lot finer, a lot slicker. The surface won't be as fluffy, basically. And it won't be as porous. Now, if you really, really wanted to, you could clear coat it and give it a shine, and it will be shining and it won't absorb at all. But you have to remember, if you do that, you're going to freeze it in time, and then it's not going to patina at all, unless if you take the layer off. So just some little tips. I have some sexy textured titanium hinder shit in front of me. Nice, nice, nice. Go check out Tri-State EDC. Yes, absolutely. Go and check out Cole. Awesome, awesome dude. Excuse me, Jason. Excuse me. Furiani. Jason Furiani. How you like the yellow on that new limited work sharp bug out? I have not seen it. I'll be honest, I'm not a big yellow fan. Not that I hate it, but it probably wouldn't be the first color I'd pick, but I haven't seen it though, so I can't really speak on it. Shout out to Tri-State EDC. Definitely go and follow his channel. So my micarta got too much damn epoxy in them, right? So it's basically just a block of plastic, right? And what you can do though is you can fluff it up. But like I was saying though, because of that, that's why you don't want to go too deep, because you'll rough the epoxy up, and then you'll get down and you'll basically be right back at the first place you started again, because you'll be basically hitting another layer of epoxy. Because when they do micarta, it's in layers. So they take fabric, right? So like, say you take a bunch of these, right? And you're going to lay it down. You're going to lay a layer down, then you're going to put epoxy. Lay another layer down, put epoxy. Another layer down, put epoxy. Now, sometimes they just throw a bunch of layers together and then pour it in there, and then it just fills it up. Usually, they do it by layer, because that way they can be certain that the center and everything got equally hit. All right, now next let's talk about, I talked about the springs for the button locks. Okay, so I wanted to talk about really quick, this won't take long because I've spoke about this before. So, breaking in a knife that that kind of feels, it's not as enjoyable as you would like, right? Maybe it feels a little gritty. Maybe it's just not very satisfying, right? There's a couple things you can do right away to improve it. Your main thing is going to be your detent ball, which we're going to come back to. But first, we're going to start with the pivot. One thing you can do is you could get, or not, you could just use the bearings you have at hand and polish the surface, the area where the balls roll. There might be coating that's on the blade, right? See this coating on the top? Down here in the pivot, there might be coating in there. So you might want to get rid of it, polish it off, make sure the surface is nice and clean for the balls to roll on. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you can get a hold of Gillian, right? And get some bearings. Oh, you're probably wondering, well, I don't know what size to get. This is the most common size right here. I'm going to show you the size. Now, on Gillian's site, it doesn't say there's any there. But what he does is he makes them as the orders come in. So if you just order them, he will make them. I ordered these 4 days ago and they're already here. So think about that. He makes them pretty quick. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get them that fast, but most likely you will. He says once the order comes in, he says he starts making them. So it'll be pretty quick. Now, the most common set and what we're talking about right now is the salt and pepper bearings. The salt and pepper bearings. I do have a video on these if you guys want to see the video. These are really good bearings. They are ceramic. Now, this is the size that I find that's most common. Now, this isn't going to be obviously every single knife, but your Tucsons, your Hinders, your Kaisers all use this size, which is right here. That is the size. So screenshot it, take a picture. That is the size, the most common size you are going to find for bearings. Now, that is not the size for the Demcos. The Demcos, man, they're tiny. Took apart my Demco 80 20.5, not the 80-20, but the 80 20.5, and they are tiny, like tiny. But Gillian's bearings, in my opinion, the best bearings are USA made. He sources all the parts in the USA, hand makes them, hand flattens them. Badassery. Hey, Stas 23. He says, I like me some salt and pepper. Me too. I like it on my eggs and on my knives. Now, I have some of the bigger sets too, but there's some, man, I've never even used. But anyways, you could replace the bearings with bearings like that. Was that for sure going to work? No, but I say about 60-70% of the time it can make the action better. Other times there's really not much you can do, but polish the surface, let the bearings break in. Now, one thing you could do is you can kind of tighten it up a little bit and let them kind of roll around for a week while it's tight, because what it'll do is it'll break a nice good track in, and then back the pivot out a little bit and it'll have a track built in and it'll be super smooth. Now, next thing you're going to do, which is going to be the most important thing. We've already talked about polishing the bearing track. Holy shit, Maurice is in the house. Maurice, thank you, man. Holy shit. Thank you for the 50 bones, man. I can't thank you enough. Maurice has been going through all my videos. I have gotten more comments on my channel or in my comments than ever before. And they're all from Maurice. Maurice has literally watched from my oldest videos to my most recent, back to back, and has left a comment on every single one. Thank you, Maurice, for all the support, man. I really can't thank you enough. And thank you for the 50 bones. That's amazing. And he leaves the most hilarious comments ever. I comment back usually, but sometimes like he'll comment 10 comments in a row. So I'll just hit the last one because I'm reading them all at the same time. They're fucking hilarious. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, brother. I do appreciate it. So we talked about the bearing track, polished that, talked about possibly replacing the bearings. You can or not, doesn't matter. But the most important part it's basically going to be the most important part to being very smooth is your detent track. If you have a coated blade, the detent that's right here, let me get a different knife. This is kind of big. So the detent that's right there behind that screw, that rolls inside, right? Or rolls on the tang of the blade. Now, if there's a coating there or a high satin finish, that can create a friction point for that ball. So what you want to do is you want to take and put pressure right there and just go open and close. You're putting pressure right here, open and close. Do that about 500 times. Just sit here and dance, put some music on and just dance for about 30, 45 minutes. You might get a little sore. If you're not sore yet and you're not wore out, then you're not done. And just continue to do that. And if you do get wore out, then just put it down, set it down, come back 10 minutes later, do it again. A little bit of pressure. You're not talking about crazy pressure. We don't want to break the ceramic ball, but give it some good pressure and give it some work. You're going to break a nice track in, then you're going to make it stupid smooth. Stasa says the most important thing to get a knife smooth is to make sure everything's squared up from the backspacer to the pivot. The degenerate is very important as well. Okay. Is that the signature lefty shovel? Yeah. No, the signature lefty shovel goes like this. Oh, wait, that was the right hand, though. It should have been this hand. But you know what? Stas is right. And that was actually my next point. It probably wasn't, but now it's gonna be. Taken from Stasa. Yes, make sure that sometimes I get knives, right? And everybody does. The knives were put together, possibly even taken apart and put back together, and they're not squared up at all. There's tension in different areas. So what is that? There's tension in different areas. Is that money? Alfie, thank you for the donation. Thank you for 125 crackers. I do not know what kind of money that is. Can I get a shout out? Your fan from it's Philippine money. Yes, absolutely. Alfie, thank you so much for the donation. Shout out to my Filipino brothers. I do appreciate the donation. I appreciate you watching the channel. Thank you so much, man. That's amazing. Thank you. Shout out to the Philippines. See, we got family all over this country, even in the Philippines. That's amazing. But yeah, you want to make sure that the scale goes on top of the scale even. If you have one screw that was tightened faster than another one, what'll happen is it goes like this. So your scale, instead of going perfectly flat, it goes, and then you put it on. So now it literally sits like this. So what you do is you take it apart and you make sure the screws. So when you put the top scale on, so say if I'm putting this scale on the top, lay this scale down and screw in this screw only a little bit. You don't want it tight, just lightly so that nothing's falling apart, right? Screw in the next screw lightly, nothing's falling apart. Pivot, same thing. Everything's just lightly screwed in. Then you go to the pivot and go not super tight, but give it a little bit of tension. Go to this one, the farthest one away from the last, kind of like a rim on a car. Then put that one with a little bit of tension. Then go to the next one, a little bit of tension. Then go back to the pivot. Now that one, you can give it a little crank. Go back to this one, give it a little crank. And you're basically just doing a rotation, making sure that the scale goes down perfectly flat at the exact same time on all the sides. No side is going to be tighter than the other side. It's all just going to be nice and equal. That is a good way. And a lot of times you will be so impressed with how smooth a knife can get just from doing that, because you don't realize that the scale is wonky. It's not like this. It's literally like this, where one corner is tighter than the other side. Bees is a member now. Holy cow. We got the Hive joining the Neevesknives. I need to come up with a saying for my members. I'll think of something. I'll think of something good too. Maybe some of you guys can name some stuff that we can call our crew. The Neevesknives crew. We'll think of something. Bees Blades has got the Hive. We got to have something. Oh, shit. Seems Logical says, you are now the proud owner of 125 Filipino pesos, and you never would have seen them if you had never made the channel. Thanks, Alfie, for the donation. Absolutely. Thank you, Alfie, for the donation and the 125 pesos. We like those. We like those pesos. Maurice says, Breeze, don't masticate your bowels over a duplex trying emulsify Hot Wheels cars. Instead, constipate your rectal sandwich so you can burp in birdcage. Spoken very well by a true gentleman right there. Actually, Breeze, what's funny is when I started the video for the members, welcoming them, I started out like that. I said, "What's up, dummies?" I hear the Philippines is the cheapest place on earth. Possibly. I wonder what that is like based on. Like cheapest, meaning things are more affordable, or people get paid the least, or like, there's lots of different ways to look at it. The Bang Crew. I like that, Stasa. I like that. The Bang Crew. It's bang time. I like it. I like that. The Bang Crew. Charles Wood, thank you for becoming a member. We got a new member. Oh man, I got to think of a way to call them though. Like, hey, I guess I can be like, hey, bang time, or no. Hey, bangers. Hey, bangers. Charles Wood is a new member to the Bang Crew, to the Bang Gang. Almost sounds like a gang bang. To the Bang Gang. I'm going to accidentally call it the gang bang one day. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. What have we started? Jared gets demonetized right after getting a membership program going. All right, next. I already said that. Oh, I am going to send, just so you guys know, make sure you guys, I'm not sure if he's going to do a video on it or not, but either way, go and follow and sub Tom Hosang Outdoors. Awesome dude in the community. He does cut tests. He tests steels. I've learned a lot from him. Awesome dude. And I'm sending him the 10V sheepdog so that he can test it. He was thinking about grabbing one, but he's a little hesitant, and I don't blame him. And I'm going to send this to him so he can do whatever he wants with it. He can test it, whatever he wants with it. And see if he wants to get one or not, right? And he might not in the end, or he might, right? We'll see. What do I think is going to happen, right? What I'm declaring possibly that's going to happen. I don't think, and I don't know, right? It's hard for me to say, and that's why I always make sure I tell people that I don't do controlled tests, and everything comes out in the controlled test. And he's definitely going to probably do a controlled test, whether he films it or not. But I would think that this would get a little bit lower results than K390. K390 theoretically should be, well, this should get better edge retention than K390 theoretically. Not by much though. I mean, like either neck and neck or maybe a little bit better, but right there. I think it's possibly going to be a little less than K390. It's very affordable. You got to think we're buying it for $80. It's $80. I doubt they're heat treating it to its fullest potential, right? But I do expect it to get better results than, like S30V and steels like that. How much better? Who knows? That's why it'll be awesome to find out. With my K390 neck to neck with it, I did notice the K390 held its fine edge and held bite better than the 10V, but it only had one edge on it, while the K390 had like 4 edges or 5 edges already on it. And it wasn't a controlled test. It was basically just me, cutting stuff and thinking, right? So it'll be nice to see from a controlled test, but you guys should definitely go and follow Tom Ho Sang Outdoors. He doesn't post a ton, but when he does post, this is the thing. He doesn't post a lot, but when he does post, you want to see it. That's a good way to look at it. He doesn't post a lot, but when he does, it's a gem. The Bang Gang sounds good. I like it too. It makes you curious, doesn't it? You kind of, what? It's called the what? Makes you hesitant. I like that. It makes you start thinking about your life and, where you're at right now and your next move. It makes you think about all the decisions you've made over the past year and where you're at right now. Is this a good decision? Should I really join a crew called the Bang Gang? Maurice says, I want a Waffle House on a prairie, not a universe of elves that hate back hair or not grinning for a grill in space cowboys. Who has bro a toenails? Stop taking Bill Clinton to the ark. Well said. Well said. How do you spell his last name, Jared? Who? How do you spell? Oh, Hosang, just like how it sounds. Hosang. I have like a hair or something dangling in front of me. Every time I look down, I can like see it like curled right here. Bree says, y'all are dummies. It's gonna stick and you know it. Yeah, that's not a bad one either. The dummies. Talica, the bangers. Thank you for the donation, Talica. I do appreciate it for being a member and for the donation. Wife might be wondering what I'm really watching. Your name is the Bang Gang already. Shit. Oh, man. Kennedy $50 was in the rings of graduation. You just fail to see my light. Seeds that won't grow in the night because it's day. Hey, now that is some spiritual shit right there. And Jay Friedman says, I'm no space cowboy, but hey, peaches can shake your trees. Bang. Pandemic says, starting to think it's Google Translate fail. Cue Ball says, go. Oh, thank you, Cue Ball. There is his channel right there, Tom Ho Sang Outdoors. You can go and subscribe to his channel so you can see when he drops them damn gems. And you can go watch his last video of talking about the aluminum oxide versus sharpening with diamonds and, the carbide tear out and how it doesn't have an effect, but it does tear the steel around the carbides. Just go watch it. Just go watch it. And when we do the live sharpening stuff, we can talk about it and have good discussions about it because you'll be caught up with it, knowing exactly what we're talking about. I know I've already talked about it before and did a good discussion on it, but it's great when you're looking at it and you're seeing the 150, magnification zoom in on the results. So you really understand what's going on because you can see it. What do you think about a Wicked Edge system? Great. I think there's a handful of systems that are all really good. Some better than others, but they all get the job done. Now, more importantly is the person using it. I can use any system and get amazing results. It's kind of like I said before, if you can't sharpen on whatever stone, then it doesn't matter if I hand you the best stone, right? Yes, the stone is going to make you more efficient and give you better results, but you have to have the basics down, right? If you can be effective with one, then you will be hyper effective with the other one. That's kind of the difference. But you still have to be effective with the one. Go check out KC and subscribe to Knives Fast, definitely, and check out his Kickstarter for sure. The Bang Squad. Ooh, I kind of like that. The Bang Squad. The dummies that are part of the Bang Squad. I kind of like that. I do kind of like that. Knives Addict says, I have the Wicked Edge. It's amazing. Gets a perfect edge. But you do got to know what you're doing. Absolutely. With any system in the same breath, you can get perfect edges, right? Fantastic results. But in the same breath, another person could ruin a knife, literally. And when I say ruin, obviously you can fix it. But for the time being, you're going to have a fucked up knife. You could, right? Just like with anything. Kind of like think about this. Using a saw, a skill saw, right? Somebody that knows how to use a skill saw can be very, very efficient and effective and do amazing cuts and with a skill saw. They can do great things with a skill saw. But in the same breath, think about what you could fuck up with a skill saw, not knowing how to use one. Right? It kicks back, cuts your finger off, and Bree says only Maurice could be the one that is the best. At least after that is how much you have time for a week and then jump in the shower. That was straight magic, Breeze. Magical. Stotson says, with the Wicked Edge, you definitely want to buy some cheapo knives to start with to break in the stones and learn from. Yeah, I say everybody has a different opinion on this. Some people say about gas station knives. I personally say don't do the gas station knives. I think you should try to do something that has at least a decent steel, a decent heat treat, like Ganzos, Kershaws, things like that. Something that is cheap. You don't care if you fuck it up, and it's replaceable, 16, 20 bucks. But this is just my opinion, because when I tried doing that with gas station knives, they weren't even heat treated. Some of them were so soft, I thought it was me. I thought, because I couldn't get an edge. I couldn't get nothing sharp. But then I grabbed a Ganzo and got a fucking razor edge, right? At the time, what I thought. But with the other one, I couldn't do anything. And everybody always asks me, what's the worst steel you've ever, what's the hardest steel you've ever sharpened? What was the worst steel? Gas station knives. Gas station knives is way more difficult to sharpen than S110V or any other super steel, because it's not barely heat treated. It's so soft. It's very difficult to create an apex and to remove the burr and reveal a perfect apex. I meant to say edge angle and then apex, but still. Gary, 5 bones. Thank you, man. Would you ever touch another folding knife again for $250,000 cash? Would you never? So if somebody paid me $250,000 cash to never touch another folding knife, I'm going to say no. I will not take the $250,000 cash, but put your money where your mouth is, and then we'll see what happens. I say no because I like to think that I want to do a lot in this community and with this. And like, if I'm going to take it seriously, right? That's a lot of money. I could start a lot of businesses. I could do a lot with $250,000, but also there's a lot I can do, or I should say, I want to do from where I'm at now, right? But there are other things I do want to open up and start doing that is outside of knives too. So they would be great for that, but I would have to decline because I think I would lose the most valuable thing I have that in my opinion is worth more than $250,000, which would be the knowledge and the friendships and all of that, that is far more than $250,000. So I wouldn't be able to use those tools, right? So it'd be way more than not being able to touch a folding knife again. Andrew, what's up, brother? Loving the new setup. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm loving it too. You guys, actually, let's back you guys out really quick. Oh, that's as far as it goes. I actually put a light down here. You guys can't see it, but there's a light going across the ground now. And I turned the flag because somebody brought it to my knowledge that you're not supposed to have the stars on the right, but that's wooden and it's one-sided, so it does not hang with the stars on the left. So had to flip it around. Go now to Tempest Knives Mach 51 Kickstarter and support KC. Help him make his dreams come true. Absolutely. You guys can get involved in the Tempest Mach 51. Awesome looking knife. Go and check it out. At the very least, go and watch some videos on it. And go look at the Kickstarter. And if you decide you do not want the knife, right, for the Kickstarter, you can at least support by throwing him a few bones, help him out, help him get to his mark so he can make his knife dream come true. Go to the Goodwill and look for German and Japanese steels. It's not a bad idea. Ding ding dong. Maurice says, summer breeze make me feel fine, but I like a pizza in the matchbox without reservations. Bree says, the problem with pizza is when it comes from New York, Maurice. There you go. Mason says, when using Veneeve stones on a fixed angle system, do you use water, soap to lube? Yes. As with Veneeve, you want to use some sort of lubrication. The reason why is because when you're removing steel, the steel will actually clog the stone, and you will be basically sharpening with the steel you remove because it'll clog the pores and cover the diamonds up. So the diamonds are in a resin, and that resin coats the diamonds, and the diamonds poke up out of the surface like that. They poke up out. So the more you sharpen, right, the more the diamonds go away and go down in the resin, right? And then the smaller they are, the faster they will clog with steel, right? So when you're sharpening, the steel will coat the surface and you'll literally not even be sharpening no more. So what you want to do is you use soap and water, dish soap and water, and you mix it together. That water and soap, the oils in the soap will make the metal particles float. So when you spray or coat the stone with the soapy water, the metal particles will lift out of the pores of the stone and will float at the top. So they'll basically run off the stone. That's the idea behind it. Now, you do have to get a conditioning stone. The conditioning stone is more for unclogging the stone and bringing the diamonds back to the surface, because like I said, the more you sharpen, the more you're going to knock the diamonds down, and then you'll just have resin at the surface. So you want to condition it with a conditioning stone. Then you're basically revealing the diamonds back. Now, the best way to refinish your Veneeve stones, I actually have a video on. I have the whole setup, so I can show you guys. Now, you guys can use other things I've showed you guys before. You guys can use sharpening stones as long as they're aluminum oxide. You guys can use stones to flatten and condition your Veneeve stones. But the best way is actually to take a sheet of glass, get the silica powder, put, with water and actually flatten them. And eventually, every stone, aside from diamond plates, you have to flatten eventually. With Veneeve stones, it's going to be a long time before you have to flatten them. And a lot of times you don't even have to ever do it. As long as you stay up conditioning them, you might not ever have to do it. But if you do it, you'll basically make them brand new again, like you just bought them. And if you remember when you first buy them, they're very aggressive, a lot more aggressive than after a couple months of using them. So you can condition them and condition them and condition them. And the better you condition them, or the more you do, the more effective they are. But they still clog faster than when they were brand new. These are all big, deep topics we are going to get into heavily with the members on some of these lives, with the sharpening lives. A gas station knife, Bees Blade says a gas station knife will ruin someone's opinion of how they can sharpen knives. That is so true. And they may get disinterested in knives because of it. That is so true. So true. Just like even with steels itself, like when you use a knife, somebody buys a gas station knife, and it's hard for somebody that doesn't have they don't have a good quality knife to base their opinions on. So since they don't have a good example, right? They don't have a good example to look at and say, this is how edge retention should be. This is how good fit and finish should be. This is how good action should be. They don't have any of that. So they get one of these gas station knives or cheap knives, and they base every knife off of that. That's how a knife is. That's how a pocket knife is, even though it's like the furthest from the truth. Same thing with the steels, the sharpening, all of that. That's why you definitely want to try, in my opinion, something that you at least have the ability to get sharp. Give me that cash. Easy. Yes, Andrew Toole says. Fuck these knives. I'll get rid of these knives right now. You got the money? Oh shit, what did I just do? There we go. That means you can do OTFs and fixies. Whoa, hey, wait a second. Yeah, I didn't even think that deep into it. Oh man. Come on. Root of all evil, money. Money. But a lot of people that say that have never been poor. Because it also makes the world go round. I'm 42. I have had the worst knives when I was younger. I only know they were bad because of how much longer it takes me to sharpen more pricey knives. Very true. Ball says, if you haven't already, then you're missing out. Visit Bees Blades and his hive. Yes, absolutely. I thought I said that already, but if not, definitely go and follow Bees Blades channel. Awesome channel, hilarious as all hell. And I know you'll have a good time. He also does lives. And yeah, definitely go and follow his channel. Experience Precision says, I'm proud of the junk I used to own when I was younger. Without those, I could not appreciate what I have today. Very true. That's another thing. Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of like what I was saying just now, the perspective when you have something to kind of base, you can kind of see the difference, right? You can base your, opinion on something and then test it with the other thing and say, this action is far better than that action, or this steel works far better than that steel. And I think that's kind of what happens to a lot of us. A lot of us wind up getting that Kershaw or that whatever that has a mid-grade steel, something that's okay. It's not a super steel, nothing extravagant, but you jump from the gas station knife to a decent budget knife, and you're like, wow, there's a big difference here. This is really good. And you carry it and you love it. And it kind of pulls you into the community, because then you start looking around like, well, if $40 got me this, right? And this is so much better than the $10. What would $100 get me? And that actually pulls you down the damn rabbit hole. Next thing you know, you find the Bang Gang and you're fucking joining memberships and 85 likes to 112 watching. We can do better. Please go hit that like button. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Definitely hit the like button. Thank you guys. I do appreciate it. It does help me with the algorithm on YouTube. YouTube has an algorithm and you have to play the game. And one of the rules of this game is hitting the like button so that other people can find my content. Jay Friedman says, I was in Home Depot the other day and saw some DMT stones, so I put them on the corporate card score, one for the good old guys. That is badass. Hell yeah. Put it on the corporate card. That's how you do it. That's a write-off. No, I think DMT stones they're good stones. You can there's so many different diamond plates out there now. There's certain ones, and a lot of times you can tell by the price, but certain ones they wear out really, really fast. Like basically the diamonds are just like laying on the surface. Then there's the ones that are like electroplated, and those are the ones that last a lot longer. So there is a difference between the expensive diamond plates and the very cheap budget diamond plates. The very cheap ones, the diamonds get knocked off very easily. The more expensive ones, they're embedded in that metal a lot better. Jared wasn't dropped on his head. He just got smashed in the doorway. Facts. Maurice says, I bought a gas station knife on Thursday and gave it away yesterday. I'm sorry, Jared. I have sinned. Well, at least you gave it away, but kind of worried about the guy now that you gave it to. What's his perception on a knife? Everyday EDC. Thank you for the 10 pounds. Knife polygamy. The inability to stay faithful to one knife for the rest of your life. Facts. Yeah, that's definitely a tough one for sure. And everybody remembers that your first boo, right? Your first one. The one that got you kind of into the community. That first love. You'll never forget that first love. You'll always remember her. But it ain't too long before you move on. Start cheating on her. No, the money itself is evil based on the way it is created. But we are talking money or currency. That is true. Very true. The way it is created, but that's a deep dive, man. I'm not getting into what is money, but we could definitely get into that. What is money? What it actually is. But either way, without talking and going down that fucking rabbit hole, we have to have some sort of barter system, which the dollar does kind of do, but yeah, I'm not going down that road. I'm still trying to find an old Benchmade battle song from when I was young as hell. I know it's packed away somewhere and love that thing. It's got to be 30 years old. That's amazing, man. That's crazy. I have a Morpho 51. That's a good one. G10 and titanium. Very cool. Maurice hits the like button always. All right, I'm going to catch up. D-Bass says, I really don't understand the spine whack test that everyone has been doing to their knives. It makes absolutely no sense and is totally unnecessary. Yeah, I do it sometimes, but I think the point is to see if the lock fails, because, and let me be clear, I have actually had knives fail in my hand using them, like just by putting pressure on the spine. I've had them fail, well, a couple different ways. Richard Meter, thank you, brother. Just wanted to drop in. Thank you for the 5 bones, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for dropping in and dropping some 5 bones on me. So I've squeezed the lock bar by accident and failed it, where I've actually squeezed the lock bar and failed it like that. And then I've also just put pressure on it and it's failed and went down on me. Anyways, I've also had it where I've tested it like this, went to just check it and my hand was in the way and I've checked it and it just failed. like wham, right on me. That's why I always say when you check the knife to see if the lock's going to fail, keep your hands away from that blade path, because if it does fail, you want it to go like that and your hands not be in the way. Because one day you're going to check that lock for failure or for play or for blade rock or whatever, and it is going to fail. I promise you it will. So keep your fingers out of the blade path. Now, the reason why people give it the old spine whack test is to see if the lock slips, because there are a lot of locks where I could literally just hit it against my palm and the lock will slip out of the way. That's mostly what people are checking is lock slip. It's not to see if it can fail, meaning like, because any knife can fail, right? It's just to what degree, to how much are you how hard are you hitting it, right? But you should be able to give it a good little tap without it slipping, because that's going to reassure you that when you do have your finger on the spine and you're bearing down, that you do not have the ability to disengage it. You don't have the ability to make it slip. So I do get that. What I don't think makes sense, which I'll probably wind up doing in a video one of these days here pretty soon, because I did have a video kind of planned for this, but batoning. Batoning doesn't make too much sense. And the reason why I say that is because how often do you build a fire where you baton any wood? Never, right? If you need little sticks, you don't turn big sticks into little sticks. You find little sticks. You might whittle a feather stick so that you can light the fire, but you're not taking big logs and big sticks and breaking them down into kindling. You just look around for the little fucking sticks. Now, I can see maybe somewhere on the planet there was a guy who had only one stick and he had to turn it into a bunch of little sticks to make a fire somewhere. But 99.99% of the time, if you can find a big stick, you can find little sticks too. And it's like, who wants to waste? Think about it too. Who wants to waste their time and effort making little sticks when you can pick them up all around? And two, who wants to waste their edge making little sticks when you don't have to? You can keep your knife nice and sharp and not baton shit. Now, I'm probably, like I said, going to do some baton in here pretty soon, because I got a knife I want to test. I don't think a Tucson has ever been tested hard use. Excuse me. So I want to test one, and I want to put it through some shit. I want to see if I can fucking break it. So I'm probably going to do some real destruction stuff to it and see what we can do. I think it'll be fun. What do you think about knives with a ceramic detent ball? You think it's durable enough to last? Absolutely. So what I encourage anybody to do that thinks a ceramic ball is fragile, get a ceramic ball and get some pliers and you try to break it. Try to break it. Get a steel one too while you're at it. See which one breaks first. See if you can break it. You're not going to be able to. They are so freaking hard. It's incredibly hard. And because it's a sphere and it's so tiny, it is insanely strong and hard. And it will last forever, basically. And it has its surface is slick. So it has a higher level of self-lubrication. Self-lubricating properties doesn't mean that it lubricates itself. What it means is the surface is very slick. So having oil on it will last much, much longer than if it was steel or something else. Like Teflon. Teflon has the most highest self-lubricating properties because it's so slippery, right? Technically, it's smoother when it's dry than when you oil it. That's why if you oil Teflon washers, it's usually not even nowhere near as smooth as if you let it dry up for like a couple months and then start flicking it. It's super smooth then. Anyone Wait, anyone, how's the SBD Mini Tempest? I just ordered one. I almost got one, but I had to not do it, man. I got taxes coming up and all kinds of shit, so I had to leave it in the dirt. I wanted it so bad, but I couldn't do it. What do you think about? Oh, I already answered down. All right, next. Excuse me. Merryman Edc. I want to talk about these really quick. I got another one. Merryman Edc. If you guys want to get one of these knife buddies, right? These things are pretty awesome. I got a lanyard on mine. It holds a double-sided bit on one side. So you can slip a bit right in here. And you can keep your T8, T6, or whatever you want, your Phillips and your flat. I keep my T8, T6 right here. And then on this one, I have a Phillips and a flathead on the other side, but which came in handy. That's why I've kept it in it. But the other one I have has a T10 and what is it? A T10 and T8. I got extra bits here with a little rubber ring around the middle. I don't know. But these things are really awesome. It's made out of titanium. It has a nail puller, scraper or pry bar, bottle opener, magnetic driver, and yeah, and it's also a punch Douglas in the face tool too. But yeah, I like it a lot. And shout out to Merryman Edc. They also do knife mods and things like that. So if you guys want to check out their site, Merryman Edc, go and check out their site. They have a bunch of cool stuff. And if you talk to them on Instagram, tell them Neevesknives sent you. Tell them Neevesknives sent you. I was looking at Fox Knives Suru, and the ceramic detent was kind of sketching me out. I'll have to grab one now. Yeah. No, the ceramic detent balls are, in my opinion, best. They make the smoothest action. They have the ability to stay lubricated the longest. And yeah, they're super hard, super tough. And you got to think about steel is hard, right? But it's strong and tough more than hard. Ceramic is hard more than it is strong and tough. Like if you break ceramic, it's going to shatter, right? Steel can dent. Now, the chances of you chipping or shattering that ceramic ball is like it's not going to happen. It's just not. Like I said, take some needle nose pliers and try to break a ceramic detent ball. You're not going to. It is incredibly hard. It's like a diamond. It's crazy, crazy hard. So not like a diamond, but you know what I mean. But a steel one, you'll maul, dent, scratch, and all of that will play an effect to your action when a ceramic one wouldn't do that. I'm starting to really like this button lock, guys. The TS338 titanium G10 button lock, stupid smooth, thumb stud action, good thumb stud action. The lockup is really solid. No play yet, but it's a button lock. It'll eventually get it, but great reverse flicking action. This is one so far that they did right. The detent, when it's closed, no detent lash yet. I know it's going to wind up getting it, but none yet. When it's open, nice and solid. And like with this one, the Tucson TS303 Mazwan Mokhtar design, great design. I love the design of this. The detent is nice and stiff, nice and strong. The action is amazing. The lockup is solid, but it has hella detent lash. So, and it's not detent lash. It's basically spring compression, because and that's kind of like going back to what I was saying about this guy, right? That's this thing not having good geometry with the tang of the blade, and basically the tang of the blade is pushing it. So, and it's basically compressing the spring when you push on it. But possibly if I replaced it Maybe I could fix it. Maybe not. I don't know. But hey, I'll find out because I'm going to buy them all. The new Tucson TS175 by Tepe is a Tonto bun lock. That thing looks pretty cool. I seen that. And the reason why it's a lower number when it's brand new is because Tepe owns the 170 series. The 177, that's the Maverick. That's a Tepe design. So he has the 170 series. This one is a cool Tonto. I like this one. Lefty shit all over it, but hey, that's Lefty for you. Alfie B, the new member. Thank you, Alfie. We have a dual grind, a hollow and a flat. Very good acute tip here. Now, let's talk about Tontos and how they are as EDC knives. Jay Friedman says, I've got that one, Jared. It's a good little fucker. Which one, the button lock or this one? This one? Because you said good little fucker, so I'm guessing this one. This one, though, the three, what is it? The 300. This is the 300. Great detent, great action, nice and solid. Don't listen to Lefty. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But for EDC, the one benefit to a Tonto like this one is hyper aggressive. I do kind of wish that this didn't extend out so much. However, this thing is very acute. Like you could totally draw with this thing because it's so pointy and sharp, but it's also fragile. It is. It's very, very pointy. Anyways, but this secondary edge, it's going to work great for opening things up, detail work. Now, where it's going to fall is that it's not going to be good for dense materials, right? Like say if I have dense foam that's this thick, right? If it was tape, this little tip would just go right through it. But being dense and thick, this little tip can't do it. This tip, you can do it, but now you're lifting all the way up, stabbing it in, and you have to pull back. So what are you going to do? Turn around and pull it like this, right? You're going to lose all the leverage. So while there's a lot of benefits for regular basic EDC for a Tonto, some work is really good with it. Like I think working, like for prying, scraping, picking, things like that, Tontos are great. Basic EDC, Tontos are great. But for specific tasks, Tontos suck. So that's kind of the bad part about Tontos. Kind of like how like certain blade shapes are specifically or for specific things, but not for, you know, an array of things. Hey, Mom. Oh, shit. Why didn't it pull up? Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a nice evening, Mom. I love you, and thank you for jumping in and saying hi. Don't use so much hot sauce, Maurice. Yes, Maurice. Stay off the hot. Stay off that sauce. Never mind, you found it on eBay. I'm sorry, I didn't see your comment. Are you talking about the Tucson? The TS269 is a really good one. Also, it's a little big, but still a great knife, especially for the price. The micro milling on it is done very well. That is one thing that Tucson does extremely well is their CNC milling. Their CNC milling is amazing. Now, some knives are better than others. That's just the thing. Some are incredible, some are good, and some are meh. That's kind of the thing. Some of them are just shit. Some of them are incredible. And that's kind of the weird thing. That's why it sucks when somebody just goes and buys a Tucson because they don't, without knowing which one they have, you don't know what their experience was, right? React, right? Like if you said React, you could almost say anything somebody bought from React, it was good. Same thing with Wii. Even though you might not like something from Wii, you can't deny that anything you buy from Wii is going to be good quality. They put themselves on a pedestal. Tucson's the exact opposite. There are some things that are so damn good, you can't even, it's like, how is this good for this money? Like, how did they do this? This is as good as any Riad I've ever tried, or any Wee knife I've ever tried. And then there's some that it's like, this came from Tucson? Like, what the fuck? So you got to be careful, and you got to get the right ones. Oh, shit. There we go. All right, I'm going to catch up to the comments. Pilars, you can get Pilars cheap as hell. I couldn't figure out which one to buy until I got to the 21. It's nice. So, personally, my opinion, I would stay away from the lower numbers. So the lower numbers are from when Tucson first started. I personally would stay over 100. There are a couple good ones, right? The TS 65, the 49, what is it? There's a few good ones down there. Don't get me wrong. There's some good ones down there. But the ones above 100, their grinds got thinner, like a lot thinner. Like some of their grinds from the early days, they're really thick and robust and don't really make sense. But they started thinning them out, getting like super thin, 10,000s, 15,000s behind the edge with the higher numbers. Their action, their clips got a lot better. Don't get me wrong, they still have somewhat shitty clips, but they have a lot better clips. And by the way, finally, Mazwan Mokhtar listened to me, and I did have a discussion with him about it, but he finally listened to me on this model. The Tucson TS, the Sidewinder, the 341, he finally listened to me, and he did a regular clip, let me just spin this, a regular pocket clip. See that? Now, before, he was doing those titanium ball clips like this, which suck. This one's okay, but they usually suck. So it was awesome seeing that he took my advice finally and did a good clip. Terry is a new member to the Bang Gang. Thank you, Terry. I do appreciate you becoming a member. Hell yeah. The T-Rex of the group. We got a T-Rex. Hey, Bang Gang, we got ourselves a T-Rex. Alfie says, yep, I gave it to a friend and he loves it. I replace it with a penguin in titanium and never been happier. Nice. Lindy Lou's in here? Lindy Lou. I don't see her. There she is. What's up, Lindy? A hypothetical. The knife design is sexy as fuck, but you can only choose one. Which would you choose? Tanto or reverse Tanto? Reverse Tanto every day of the week, twice on Sundays. And I say that because it's closer to my favorite blade shape. I like Tantos, but a reverse Tanto is more similar to my lifestyle and the things I use a knife for, and I can be more versatile with that. I can do a lot with a reverse Tanto. Now, technically, I don't believe in a reverse Tanto even exists. To me, that's called a clip point or a sheep's foot. But I do know what you mean. A lot of people use that phrase, reverse Tanto. But the reverse Tanto, if it's not sharp on both edges, then it can't be a reverse Tanto because a Tanto is sharp on both edges. Sharp, sharp. So if I reversed it, this would have to be sharp. But anyways, doesn't matter. I know what you mean, and I would pick the reverse Tanto. What about you guys? Lonely Stacker says, I'm so down for the heavy pocket knives. Pocket bricks, as long as it's beautiful, I'll rock it all week. There you go. Bree says, I'm about to cut this ice with some X50 CR. Holy shit. I'm cooking elves live on my roof right now because someone was too cautious. Don't blame me because I told you what President Ford would not do. That's why I eat paint chips. Them paint chips will get you. Half of half these kids don't care about the blue light special. Don't want to miss out on them blue light specials. My mom used to tell me that's where I came from. I was a blue light special. All I heard was you're special. Elfie says, is my artisan cutlery proponent considered a reverse Tonto? See, that's what I mean. To me, this is not, it would have to be sharp here to be a Tonto. To me, this is a sheep's foot or a Wharncliffe. It's more likely a Wharncliffe because this is a straight edge. Since this is a straight edge, it would be considered a Wharncliffe. But technically, this shape is more of a sheep's foot. A Wharncliffe would have one swoop to the spine, kind of like a Kershaw leak. Hey, Jared, how are you, my friend? I'm good. How are you doing, Tom? Thank you for jumping in. ARRPM 9 steel. Let's talk about it. So, before we talk about it, I do want to say that I am going to update a video I did a while back. I've been requested many times about it, and I did a video a while back on steels, on what edge to put on what steel. So, you know, say LMAX. What is the best edge for LMAX? What is the best edge for M390? What is the best edge for 14C28N, and so on and so forth. I did a video about it. Now, if I redid the video I did a while back, I would change about 3 or 4 steels that I set on that list. My perspective and my experience, and yeah, basically my experience has changed, right? I've handled a lot more of said steels, so now I would change those. So I want to update that video. I want to redo it. Now, I might not do as many steels as I did in that video, but maybe I will. I don't know. But I do want to hit the main steels we see in the community and explain what edges are best on that steel. That's what I posted, or that's what I posted. You were a blue light special. See, she's still telling me how special I am. See that? Gotta love your mama. Walt Gilbert with the 5 bones. Thank you. Fresh out of quarantine. Looking to a 3 to 3.5 traditional blade shaped Tucson and petrified fish recommendations. Sheep's foot, Warney, spear point. I would go with, you could go with the TS 129. That's a really good one. The 380 is a great spear point, but it is a thick boy. I think the 267 and the 223 are probably the best bets. I really love the 223 and the 267. Both of those are fantastic options. And petrified fish, you got to go with the what the hell is it called? Actually, petrified fish, man, they have a bunch of good knives, but go with the beluga. The beluga is a fantastic knife. Now, what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, ARRPM 9 steel. Yeah, the 223 is a killer. So ARRPM 9 steel. Now, my perspective has changed on this steel. So originally, the first couple I tried, so actually the first one I tried was fantastic. I was actually in love with the steel. I loved it. But then I tried a couple more and I was like, it's okay. It wasn't that good. I did have some bad experiences. However, after those, I had better experiences again. So I think just like they were figuring out the heat treat, right? That's what I get from them. They were figuring it out. Not a big deal. And maybe the prototype that I tried that was great, you know, they did it in small batches. It was prototypes. Then all of a sudden they started doing big batches, right? And they figured out they had to tweak some shit because the big batches were resulting in poor quality heat treats, and or maybe they were rushing because they were trying to pump them out. I don't know. Either way, I wound up getting better experiences. Now I've realized that ARRPM 9 steel is a great steel. It's easy to sharpen. It takes an incredibly sharp edge, and you can even sharpen it up to a very fine grit, and it takes it very well. Now, does it hold a fine edge for a long time? No, not really. But it doesn't seem to microchip or roll very bad. Now, obviously, if you fucking hit metal or staples or something, yeah, it chips and rolls. But doing basic stuff, it starts, it keeps a bite. Don't get me wrong, it does keep a bite. And if you're cutting through abrasive things like cardboard and stuff, it'll actually feel like it gets sharper at first. But then yeah, eventually it starts losing its bite, as all steels do. Um, so I think it's still appropriate, right? It holds a fine edge, decently long, but eventually it does get slick, which I think that has to do with because 9CR kind of just does that. Which I'm not saying it is 9CR, but it did come from 9CR. Either way, good steel, and I do have edge preferences for it. I do think it does like a fine edge. But it does good with a medium grit edge as well. Now, anytime we're talking about what is the best edge for this steel, there are a lot of factors. Grind, geometry, what are you doing with it? What are you cutting? How hard are you on it? What size knife it is? How dumb are you? Right? There's a there's a lot of variables. So you miss Kara? I do too, man. I do too. She's a gamer now. I actually thought about I'm thinking about forcing her, strong arming her into making a coffee video. I want to make a coffee video for YouTube on how to make the best cup of coffee by a coffee master, which she is, she's a coffee master. So since my wife is a coffee master, I figure I might as well capitalize off of this shit and get me a video out there, right? I should definitely be getting me a video for the YouTubes off of her. So I'll probably strong arm her in about 2 or 3 days, force her into making me some good old coffee and the best cup of coffee you could possibly make coming from a coffee master. Maurice, you can't go home yet, man. We talked about this. You should have thought about that before you came. All right. You can't go home now. You gotta stay. You gotta stay till the end. 9:16. We are past story time. So let's do story time. I got a pretty good one. Oh shit. What did I just do? I always mess some stuff up, man. This computer's touchy. All right, so let me see if there's any more subjects I want to get into right before story time. I already said that. Okay, really quick, we'll go into. Oh shit! I forgot to bring that needle applicator over here. I wanted to talk about the 3-in-1 oil and the Tough Glide applicator. I'll save it for next one. So really quick, why does blade rock matter on a frame lock and liner lock, but not on an access lock or a button lock? So on a button lock and an access lock, do I have an access lock here? I got one right here. So on a frame lock rock or blade rock matters because if the blade is moving, the lock has the potential to slip out of the way and the lock can fail. With a access lock, if it has a little tiny bit of play right there, it's never going to push this bar down. Zoom. It's never going to push this bar down out of the way, right? The spring tension is pushing that bar up. So even if this moves a tiny, tiny bit, it's never going to move that bar down and fold on you. So having a little tiny bit of blade rock on these does not matter at all. whatsoever. And sometimes you might get a little bit, and usually you wind up doing it. Now you can replace the springs, or you can even invest in Edc springs and make them stronger. The Edc springs are actually a little bit more stronger and more durable than the ones or from Benchmade. What's up, Lefty? Yeah, I know, man. I know. You were perpetrating my live earlier, trying to fuck with the gang, the Bang Gang. And now that we got our Bang Gang crew together, we're coming to fucks you up, man. We're coming to fucks you up. You and the Circle Jerk crew over there. We're coming for you. We're coming for your lives and your knives, both of them. Button locks, why don't they matter? Well, same concept. They have a spring on this side pushing a plunge into the back of the lock, or the back of the knife. So if it has a little tiny bit, yes, it's irritating, right? And like I said, that's why you want a little bit of button stick on a button lock. And that's why I also say a little tiny bit of stick on an access lock is not a bad thing, because then you're not going to have that. And it's really just irritating. Now, with button locks, I will argue that it can be more severe. Usually it's not so bad with access locks, but with button locks, it can get worse and worse and worse. And the plunge doesn't go behind the tang of the blade very far. And that's why, like I said, we're going to continue to talk about the button lock springs I bought and the button lock plunge, so we can learn and know. And I already told you guys where to get these from. I'm going to buy every single one of them so I can tell you exactly which one to get, when to replace them. If you ever have one that's wearing out or going bad, we can easily replace it and figure out what spring should you get and which plunge should you get to fix that button lock. We're going to figure it all out. I bought those ones. I know those ones aren't going to fit everything, but it's a start. I'm going to buy all the rest of them. I should have just bought them all from the start. They're actually pretty cheap, so it really doesn't matter. But I'm going to get them all so that we can always know exactly which one will fix what. We're going to do it. Let the bodies hit the floor. All right, let's get into story time. Story time. So I actually told this story a while back, but I'm going to go in a little bit more in depth into it. So this was I was probably 19 or 20 maybe, right? And my dad wanted me to take this girl, Ken Faulkner. Thank you, man. Thank you for becoming a member. We got another Bang Gang member. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Part of the Bang Gang squad. Thank you, man. Thank you. We need all the soldiers we can get, because we got to fuck up that lefty over there. We got to get him. So we need all the members we can get, make the crew as big as possible. And we are going to have one heck of a sharpening crew and some amazing lives that only the members can join. Like I said, you do not have to become a member to continue with everything that already happens. But if you want to get involved with some of the extras that are going to happen, you're going to have to become a member. And possibly to continue to start talking about knife sharpening stuff. I might just tell people, hey, if you want to talk knife sharpening, you're just going to have to become a member. I'm being facetious. Anyways, so my dad wanted me to take this girl to, she was a little bit younger than me, right? Remember I told you guys I dropped out and everything. So there was this girl, and she was a senior. She was going to prom or whatever. And he wanted me to take her. I was like, fuck that. I ain't taking that bitch nowhere. That's what I said. I'm not taking that girl nowhere. Well, me and him, we didn't get into a fight, but he had told her that his son would take her. No, he's not. So he my three of my friends, right? We did a lot of business, a lot of deals with my dad, for my dad, and my dad told three of my friends to jump me, right? To basically jump me and beat me into submission. And I knew, right, that since he told them that without a doubt it was going to happen, right? There was no, is this going to happen? Can I talk myself out of it? Whatever, right? This was going to happen no matter what. So, when I heard him say it to them, they looked at me and they started walking outside, right? And they knew I already knew the deal. So I walked outside with them, right? It's time to throw down. So walked outside with them. And I guess I was lucky enough that they gave me my best efforts by coming at me one at a time. So, so the first one comes at me, right? And we start fighting. And I'm going to fast forward to the end because that's where it gets more important. But so I start fighting with the first one, we're fighting. Now, I honestly, actually, you know what? I actually got to back up. I lied. He didn't tell all three of them to come after me. He told one. I'm sorry. I messed that story up. He told one to come after me. That's how it went. So he told the one to come after me, and that's when he started walking outside. So I walked outside. We all went outside, but me and him started throwing down. I thought I was only going to fight him. So I put everything I had into him, and I beat him. I tapped him out, whatever. Then he sends the next one after me, right? And, he's got to do it. He can't really say no. So he, so he sends my other friend, we're all like family, by the way. So he sends the next one after me. So now I'm kind of gassed, right? I just got done fighting one guy. So I'm fighting the next one. We start fighting, and it's a lot harder at this point. And this guy's tougher, right? He's tougher than the first one. So, and heavier, bigger, stockier, everything, stronger. So me and him are going at it, and I'm obviously not thinking that there's going to be a third one. So I put everything I have into this guy, and I wind up choking him out. And I choked him out almost unconscious, but he did wind up tapping. And with a guillotine. And then I was done. Like, I was fucked up. I was pretty messed up. Filled with grass, all beat up, scratched up, all messed up. Anyways, then he sends the third one. And to me, I'm done. Like, I'm already at the end of my breath, the end of everything. It's kind of like, think about running a mile right now. And then as soon as you get done running that mile as hard as you can, there's somebody standing there waiting to fight you. Imagine that, right? So the last guy, he sends him, and I see him, right? And he's walking at me. So I just beeline at him, like, cause it's like, I gotta end this quick. I don't have the energy. I don't have the strength. My muscles are shot now, right? Every bit of me is shot. And it was nothing for him to grab me and scoop me up and slam me on my back. So he lifts me up in the air and slams me on my back. So now we're on the ground, and I already know, like, I have no strength, no energy, no nothing. So I'm trying to do things to tap him out, right? I'm trying to do triangles. I'm trying to do arm bars, things like that. And he's just a lot faster and a lot stronger at the time. But I also know he doesn't have much gas. I know this dude very well. He does not have much gas in him. So we get up, and first we were on the ground, rolling around on the ground. He got up and went back at it, standing up. We got on the ground. We're like back and forth, just throwing each other around, throwing swings, all this shit. Then finally he's gassed. He's done. Like, he's gassed, and I'm beyond gassed. And we're both laying on the ground, like done. And I see he's done. So I hurry up, and I think I grabbed him and threw him in an arm bar really quick. I think that's what happened. It's hard for me to remember because of the next part. So that's the end. I'm done. Like, as soon as it got done, my brain, I wound up having a concussion. My head, it felt like my head was going bop, 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 bop. I wound up vomiting all kinds of shit. So at the end, but before I vomited, 5 girls came and beat the fuck out of me. So I'm on the ground. After this, dude's done too, right? He's done. I'm done. I wound up winning though, by the way. But I'm like done. Like I can't even walk, right? I'm just laying there on the ground, right? And my dad tells all the girls, because I won. So he tells all the girls, go beat his ass, because he knows I'm done. Like there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do right now. I'm just done. They come up and beat the shit out of me. All these girls. I think it was between 3 and 5 girls. I think it was 4 or 5 of them. Well, then now, like I said, I had a concussion. Like I got up and I walked to from the middle of the yard to by the door, and I start vomiting. My head feels like it's swollen. Like I feel like it was the worst headache I've ever had in my life, and I've had some serious fucking headaches. Like I've ruptured my eyeball. I've broken all these bones in my face. I've broken my nose multiple times. I know what pain feels like in the head, and my head was just like bop 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 bop. And I just remember being in so much pain through my stomach and my head at the same time. I was dizzy. I couldn't see. My eyes went blurry. That's how I knew I had a concussion too. And so then for like the next hour, the girls like tried to like, I guess, nurse me back to health, but stop me from sleeping and things like that. They didn't want me to go to sleep, but I didn't want to stay awake. That was the messed up part. I kept passing out. The pain was like I was the adrenaline flew through my body so hard for that short amount of time that it made me, like I don't know, whatever. But it got to the point to where like at the end when I stopped, everything hit me. All right. So, but yeah, it was crazy. I started passing out. I couldn't stay awake. I'm vomiting. I'm damn near delusional. But that's true. That's true. When you start vomiting, it just got real. Right. And that's the way it was. That's how it was. And like I said, the girls, they started like trying to nurse me and stuff, keeping me awake, getting me stuff. It was all a lot of love, by the way. It was all a lot of love. But yeah, I definitely had a concussion. My head had, been hit so many times and hit the ground and, everything, So, but yeah, it was pretty messed up, but a great story though, great story. I remember, um, with the last guy though, when I first started, I can remember like it was yesterday. I was so gassed and so out of breath that when he got a hold of me, when like I didn't have any strength. So I had just fought 2 guys. So when he grabbed me, it was nothing for him to just scoop me up in the air and slam me on the ground. And I remember feeling that ground. That ground was not soft. It was grassy, but it was not soft. But that's why I also knew like I'm not going to be able to out strengthen him right now. It's kind of like if you do like 20 curls, right? With weights, do 20 curls, right? And then trying to do another 20 and then doing another 20 when you're already done. Like you don't have anything left in you. You can't do it, right? It doesn't matter how much I pay you, you can't do it. It was kind of like that. Like there's no way I can out strengthen this guy right now. I've got to like basically outsmart him. Like that's the only way I'm going to win this. Send me your channel link, please. Hardest EDC. Started drumming in the 4th grade. First set was Slingerland Genie Krupa set. Slingerland Drum Co. was located in my hometown, Niles, Illinois, outside of Chicago. Good old Niles. Send your wait. So your dad sent 7 people to fight you all. You could take some girl to prom. Yeah. Well, because what it was that he told her that I would. So he was put in a position where he said something and she really liked me and I didn't like her. So he was trying to do good by her and thought that I would if he told me to. He thought that if he ordered me to, that I would. And I said, no, it's not happening. Not a chance. I'm not fucking doing it. And so he's like, you're going to do it. And I said, no, I'm not. And he said, all right. And then he sent somebody after me to put me in my place. Yeah, it was always out of love. Everything was out of love. But no, it was definitely a good memory, fun times. And I got a lot of stories with those with that girl and those girls and just all those people. They were my best friends. It was definitely a lot of love there. How bad was the girl? Was it her personality that you didn't like about her? Or did she always smell of green onions, potato chips, or something? Yeah, something like that. Not quite like that, but you know, if it was just personality, it probably wouldn't have been so bad. You know what I mean? Guys can look past personality. No, it was I think it was a lot to do with like the girl I was after wasn't her, right? I was after a different girl, and that girl was after me. She really liked me. I didn't like her, right? And that girl like tried to do like a lot of different things. Like I remember waking up with that girl, like not meaning like I fell asleep with the girl, meaning I fell asleep and then I'd wake up and she'd be like in the bed with me and shit like that. It was crazy. And she had like a serious crush on me, but I did not want anything to do with it. Nothing. So it led to that. I think she did something for my dad. They made a bet or made a deal like, hey, you do this for me, I'll take care of you. My son will take you to the prom. I think it was a deal like that. And then I said no. So then he went back on his deal with her. So he was left in a predicament where it's like, I got to make this happen. But he always did some crazy shit like that. We're all dogs, right, Maurice? Jared, again, what do you think about the Tucson 298? Just bought one at White Mountain Knives. The 298. Which one is the 298? Let me see. There's so many numbers, man. It's hard to. I haven't tried this one. Just so you guys, I'll show you guys it. I haven't tried this one. It looks pretty cool though, and it's a 200 series, so it's probably a good one. Who's the designer? Let me see. Oh, I don't know that designer though. That's a new designer. Rihe. I don't know the designer. That worries me, but not necessarily. I also never heard of this designer either. Where'd it go? Was it this one? No, this is Night Morning, right? Yeah, no, that's Night Morning. There's one around here I have that I never seen the designer before, and I like it. This guy, never had this guy's designs before. I love the 380. This is a hard use knife. This one's a Mazwan. Someone said earlier to me that they always wanted to get a Tucson, but Tucson puts too much billboarding on their knives, and it's like, what? They have so many knives that have no billboarding. Like this one, no billboarding. All the billboarding's on the inside of the scales. No billboarding. They have a lot of knives with no billboarding. So that was a ridiculous statement. But this one right here, you know, yeah, some of them do have some billboarding, but they have a lot that do not have any billboarding. And I have a few of them that don't have any. This one, all it has is that. Just that. It doesn't even have the Tucson logo. It does have some stuff around the pivot because it's a Night Morning design. He kind of likes doing that. What do you think about Kershaw Lynx in 20 CV? I don't think anything bad. The way I think about it is that if it's probably not the highest potential HRC or heat treat that you would want to get in an optimal 20 CV heat treat, but look at what you're paying, right? You're not paying optimal heat treat prices. So you're going to at least, at the very least, get better than S30V edge retention, right? Would you pay the same price for S30V? If the answer is yes, then you're good. And I'm not saying you're going to get as bad as S30V which I should say as good as S30V edge retention. I'm saying you're going to get better than that. So, you know, you see where we're going? I think it's fine. I own 175 of them, and most only have a maker mark and the steel type. Yeah, that's why when I heard him say that, or when I read he said that, I was like scratching my head, like, what? There's only a couple of them that have a lot of billboarding. Some of them have, you know, the Tucson logo, like this Tucson logo and the designer. A lot of them have that, but not like, they're not all like this one, where it's a bunch of billboarding. Most of them are not like that. There's a couple, you know, that have like two designers, or, you know, the designer, then the steel, but a lot of them don't have shit. And as of recently, some like Mazwan Mokhtar started doing them raw, like this one, where it's like there's nothing on them. You know, you don't even see his designer logo. His designer stuff is on the inside of the scale. So safe to say. All the newer ones actually have the number on them. Yes, that's true. Yes, the new ones do have the number on them, which I'll be honest, I kind of do like. Like even this one you can't see it really, but it's right behind the thumb stud, which I actually like. I think that's cool. See how it's right here? Man, this camera is so dope. I love this camera, man. See how the lighting is? Now watch the lighting change. The lighting's going to hook me up. Come on. See how, bam, this camera's awesome. I love this camera. Yeah, Microtech. Yes, they do. Microtech takes it to another level. That's what's crazy, man. Microtech goes crazy with that shit. Mine came perfectly. T of that button lock, no issues at all. Steve, are you the Thundercat? Steve, are you the Thundercat? That's a good question. Seems logical as talking to DG, not me. Check out the 20-year Microtech on my Instagram. The billboarding is insane. Yeah, even mine right here. Wham, they don't mess around. They tell you everything. Somebody said it earlier with the Tucson one, the one I just showed you guys, this one. They said, man, they wrote down everything but the street address and their phone number. I thought that was hilarious. Right here. They wrote everything but the street address and their phone number. I'd be interested to see if that Reich made Microtech is better or worse than this, because I really like my SOCOM. My SOCOM is good. My detent is good, even though I just did that. I was just up a little high. My detent is good, super smooth. Yeah, you can fail it, but I mean, these are, you know, the design comes from like 20 years ago, over 20 years, and it still has, man, really good thumb stud action. The bearings are so smooth that once you break that detent, like it basically just takes itself. And like right here, like mine needs to be cleaned, but see how it just snaps itself in place? Like it just brings itself into lockup. So if you break the detent, it kind of just takes itself home. You think the Reich is better, Jay? I know the materials are better, but I just mean the feeling, the action, I guess all of that. Because this is still titanium. Like mine's got a titanium liner with a steel lock bar insert, aluminum scales, which these aluminum scales, man, these are fucking tough. This thing is, I don't know, I think it's 187 thousandths thick or something. This thing is robust, but it's a hard use knife. I know some people like lefties say, like, he feels like he's gonna slip off of here, and I guess I kind of get that, but it's got that perfect thickness where you can squeeze, and you're not getting that out of my hand, especially with this jimping and everything. You go in a reverse grip. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is a real tactical knife. It's made for that shit you don't want to put other knives through. All right, Mom. I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, folks, gonna call it a night. Jared, thanks again for the live. Tell Kara and Douglas I say hi and watch for deer. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. The new Microtech is the smoothest knife I own. Really, man. I tried to contact Microtech to buy one. They didn't even fucking answer me. They said, man, you ain't Metal Complex. I do love this knife though. I got actually a little auto, a mini. They don't even make those no more. A mini auto. So a mini SOCOM auto from 1999. That's over 20 years old, and it's still running strong. It's like brand new, literally brand new, not a scratch on it. Who's Metal Complex? I don't know. He's definitely not part of the Bang Gang. That's for damn sure. Yeah, I don't carry them either. But it's fun to have. It's like a collector piece. Do we need to cancel Microtech? I don't think so. I think they'll be okay. But in a month or so, we'll talk about it again. We'll see. Give them a little time. Tactile Turn is sending me another knife, which I'm really happy about. That'll be cool. They've been awesome. Texas brisket. Okay. Chicago hot dog. Okay. KC barbecue. Okay. New York pizza. I think not. I carry all the autos I want in Maryland. Just can't conceal carry. Just can conceal carry. MC hates me. MC hates me like loads. That sucks. Everybody, you are so sweet. Thank you and good night. Thank you, mother. Cue ball hates my guts. Don't know why. I'm curious why that too. What'd you do? That the first thing you should do is think about, what did you do? Chicago deep dish pizza is the way to go. I'm not the biggest fan of the deep dish. I mean, it's okay, but I'd rather have a hand tossed or thin crust. But that's just me. But I like all pizza though. Hey, I've had Chicago thin crust that was banging. That's what I'm saying. Their thin crust is fire. That's my favorite Chicago pizza, is either the hand tossed or the thin crust. Both of them are just really good. They're delicious. The deep dish it's just so thick. It's almost too much. Thin crust kind of guy. MC Hammer was only famous for a week. Yeah, but he'd slap the shit out of somebody though. That's what all the rappers say. Real pizza is from New York or Long Island. Mr. Greg, have you ever had a Chicago pizza? I know everybody talks about this damn triangle New York pizza, but if you've never had Chicago, how can you compare it? There's a casserole, not a pizza. That's a fact. For sure. That's why, like, to me, it's, when I think of pizza, like, kind of like, Greg with the New York pizza, I think of the triangles, the big juicy triangles you can kind of fold up and eat like that with the cheese stretching, or the nice square cut, sliced pizza that it's thin crust. I used to be in Chicago every end of October for years doing shows at Navy Pier, and the food is amazing, but the wind in the Windy City can kiss my ass. You were at the Navy Pier. That's awesome. So there's the Navy, what is it? The Navy base and then the Navy Pier. Two different things. Vanilla Ice Metal Band is pretty good. That's true. He even turned the Ice Ice Baby into a rock song. I thought that was funny. It wasn't bad though. Yeah, he must be talking about New York because yeah, thin crust is normally it has that nice crisp to it. But yeah, nobody wants thin if it's I guess there's probably some that's okay, but usually if it's thin and soggy, I mean, you got to get it fresh in that case. But then again, man, I love some microwave pizza, some tomorrow's pizza, the next day's pizza. Fuck, that's so good. And you know what's really good? And I don't hear anybody ever talk about it, but my mom actually raised me eating this shit. Where you take like barbecue ribs or barbecue chicken. Has to be barbecue, okay? Barbecue chicken or barbecue ribs. And you take it out of the fridge from yesterday. It's still cold and you just eat it cold. That is so good. Oh my goodness. I want some right now. Cold barbecue ribs or cold barbecue chicken the next day, cold out of the fridge is so good. So good. And if you're going to knock it, don't until you try it. New York stole its pizza from Connecticut. A guy from New Hampshire told me. I bet that's true. I bet you that's true. What the hell was Tucson thinking when they made that pill case? I don't know. There's a lot of things they probably, but a lot of the things they do, it's not by them. It's a designer. They're paid to do it. They're an OEM. So it's not really their choice. Hillary Barbecue. Mic drop. For sure. Man, it's been a while since I had some Hillarys. Ooh, that sounds so good. So good. Any pizza is really good, like mine, lots of toppings, but I will eat cheese only if someone else is buying. That's true. There's better pizza and good pizza, but there's really not bad pizza. I mean, I guess I never really had bad pizza. There's just okay pizza, right? And then there's good pizza. Maurice ate pizza in Italy. I've never been to Italy. The closest place I've ever been to Italy is like Italian neighborhoods in Chicago. My stepfather's Italian. My little brother's Italian. My stepfather had a bakery on the south side. Probably 25 years. Real Italian pizza is extremely thin. Hey, now, I like a lot of Chinese knives. I like Chinese food, too. Eat New York pizza. Everything else is bad pizza. All right there, Greg. That's out of line. That's out of line. Did you join the Bang Gang crew? I got to know this right now. Did he join? No, he's not a member, is he? He's not a member, is he? I don't know if he can talk like that in here. D-metal. All right, wait, Jared, if you want a laugh, pull it up the screen. What? Pull up what? The pill box. I'll pull it up over here because I don't have it set. I had it set up on here, and then when I fucked it up earlier, choose some pill box. Is that what we're talking about? Is that it? What? It looks like a spinner. How is that a pill box? Wait, Tucson waterproof pill cases, glass breaker, emergency titanium multi-tool. I've never seen one of these. It looks like a self-defense, you know, knuckler, kind of like the Knife Buddy. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Great conversation piece. Brick oven up. Yeah, brick oven pizza is really good. That's some of the best pizzas, brick oven pizza for sure. For sure. I had some not too long ago. New York, Illinois, California all suck. That's why they're moving to the South. That's just a fact. That is just true. I know I'm not going to argue that. I'm just going to come with. I'm just going to join you. All right, guys, it is almost 10 o'clock. I know you guys I see a lot of you guys are peeling out of here slowly but surely. I just want to say thank you to everybody who did join the, I'm going to end up messing it up and call it gangbang one of these days, but the Bang Gang crew. I do appreciate everybody who did join our secret society of sharpeners that are going to be high level sharpeners before no time, because we are going to have some elite videos for them, among a lot of other videos too. It's not just going to be just sharpening. We're going to have a lot of amazing topics, and we're going to have the biggest, hopefully we can get together. And I want all of you, everybody who's a member, make sure you go into all the other lives and all the other comment sections and remind everybody to join the Bang Gang crew over at Neevesknives, because if we can get a big enough society, man, can you imagine the things we can do? Can you imagine? And if we do wind up getting any fuckheads, we'll just kick them out, right? We'll kick them out. I'm sure there's some way I can do that. I'm not sure yet, but we did just start, but we're already at a good start. And I do appreciate everybody who did join. You know, all jokes aside, I do appreciate everybody who did join. And it is amazing that I'm able to do this with you guys, and I can't wait to start the first videos and first lives and everything. Definitely, I'm going to be doing that soon. I do need to set up dates so we can do it at the same time every 2 weeks, but also with other stuff too. We're going to sprinkle on some other stuff for sure. Thank you to all the moderators in here for helping out as always. Thank you to all the patron members. I did make that video. I will be uploading it. Like I said, you guys get to choose what knife you guys want out of a few. Some goodies, though. Some goodies. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight. I do appreciate it. The donations massively help. Right now, my which is not on you guys. It's a 100% on me. You know, getting the camera and being on a different schedule and, you know, going through a bunch of shit. My analytics they are way down right now. So I do appreciate all the donations. It massively helps. And I appreciate everybody who uses my sharpening service and, you know, sends knives in for me to fix and tune up, and everybody who donates knives and even sends knives, you know, to review and test and all that shit. All those things are amazing. Thank you to everybody who goes into Instagram and tags me and links me and all of that shit, man. You guys are amazing. I do appreciate you guys constantly making comments and bringing Neevesknives up and, you know, sharing things and all those things, man. It's so amazing. I am going to start pushing more shorts on YouTube. I have been doing that recently. I think it's going to help me with the algorithm a little bit, along with Instagram. You guys are all amazing. Thank you guys for everything. Peace. Jared, I put in for Patreon. Do I get the little emoji? No, you have to put in you have to do that here for the members. So you have to become a member on YouTube. The Patreon is separate from this. You have to become a member here on YouTube. So if you have a computer, you have to go next to the subscribe button. There's a join button, and you join the membership and pick which one you want to be on. And yes, so you do get an emoji for sure. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching and joining and becoming members and everything. You guys are amazing. Peace.